The narrative of David versus Goliath is one of the most well-known biblical stories appearing in the first book of Samuel. According to 1 Samuel 17, Goliath, a heavily armed Philistine giant, challenged Saul for 40 days to send out a man to fight him. No one would face this warrior until David, armed only with a sling and stones, volunteered. David hit the giant in the forehead with a stone and killed him. The narrative is set during a time when the Israelites were at war with the Philistines. The Philistines were a powerful army, and among them was Goliath, a huge warrior from Gath. Gath was one of the 5 cities in Philistines, borders with Kingdom of Judah and located in northeast of Philistines. The city is mentioned in Hebrew Bible as largest city of Philistines, and people from Anakim tribe were living in the city. According to Book of Deuteronomy, Anakim were the descendants of Anak, who belongs to Rephaite tribe. This word refers either to a people of greater than average height and stature. So it is believed by Israelites that this tribe were linked to Nephilim, as we mentioned in the Book of Enoch. Story, do watch that video also and subscribe to our channel. Goliath stood over 9 feet tall, wore heavy armor, and was feared by everyone who saw him. Every day for 40 days, Goliath would approach the Israelites and ask them to send a warrior to confront him, taunting and ridiculing them. The Talmud emphasizes Goliath's ungodliness. His taunts before the Israelites included the boast that he had captured the Ark of the Covenant and brought it to Dagon's temple. As we discussed in our Ark of Covenant video, will emerge on your screen at the end of this video. Please watch that video also and ascertain the fact that Ark of Covenant is very important in Judeo-Christian narrative. David, the youngest son of Jesse of Bethlehem, was tending sheep while his brothers were on the battlefield. David was sent by his father to deliver food to his brothers and check on them, and he arrived at the camp just as Goliath was making his daily challenge. David was intrigued and dismayed by the fear he saw in the Israelite camp, so he volunteered to fight Goliath himself. David states that when a lion or bear came and attacked his father's sheep, he struggled against it and killed it. But Saul has been hiding in terror instead of standing up and combating the threat to his flock. King Saul, the Israelite leader, reluctantly consented to let David fight Goliath, but was concerned since David was a mere lad and not a warrior. David declined to wear the king's armor because he found it heavy. Instead, he took his staff, selected 5 smooth stones from a stream, and equipped himself with his sling. As Goliath approached for the kill, David reached into his bag and flung one of the stones at him. The stone struck Goliath on the forehead, causing him to fall face down on the ground. David immediately hurried over, grabbed Goliath's sword, and severed his head, signifying that Goliath had been conquered. When the Philistines discovered that their hero had died, they fled in panic. The Israelites chased them and won a decisive victory that day. David's trust in God and courage made him a hero and a beacon of hope for his people. The narrative demonstrates that Saul is unfit to be king, whereas David is. Saul was selected to lead the Israelites against their foes, but when confronted with Goliath, he refuses to do so. It also shows that faith, paired with bravery and the appropriate plan, can conquer any obstacle, no matter how difficult it appears. It emphasizes the prospect of success in the face of tremendous obstacles and has acted as an inspiration in a variety of cultural, literary, and religious settings. The story of David and Goliath is also addressed in the Quran, albeit it is more concise and concentrates on other topics than the biblical story. In the Quran, David is referred to as Dawood and Goliath as Jalut. The narrative comes in Surahs Al-Baqarah and As-Saf. The Quran emphasizes the moral and spiritual teachings learned from the meeting, highlighting God's ability to award victory to anybody he chooses, regardless of size or strength. The story revolves around the fight between the Israelite and Philistine armies, with God choosing David to slay Goliath. The Bible tells the tale via David's personal bravery and faith, as well as a true historical description of the Israelites. The Quran interprets the incident as a parable of the strength of faith and God's capacity to grant victory to his devoted servants, regardless of their seeming frailty. The Quranic account briefly recalls David slaying Goliath with faith and a few stones, resulting in the defeat of the Philistines and victory for the Israelites. This deed not only displays David's confidence in God, but also his legitimate claim to rule, as emphasized in the Islamic scripture. The story in Islamic account is a bit different than Bible, but like in the Bible, the Quran uses this story to illustrate that God supports the faithful underdogs against the arrogant powers, teaching that true strength comes from one's faith and moral integrity rather than physical might alone. The narrative of David and Goliath, as told in both the Bible and the Quran, teaches numerous important moral truths that bridge cultures and religious traditions. Like faith in God, courage and initiative, like David, extraordinary exemplifies courage by stepping in front of Goliath. The story shows humility and service. David's humble origin as shepherd and service-oriented approach are the key themes and like leadership qualities. David's decision to utilize a sling rather than standard weaponry emphasizes the value of ingenuity and utilizing one's particular talents effectively. It implies that success is frequently achieved by thinking imaginatively and employing one's own abilities rather than sticking to traditional approaches. That's all on David and Goliath. Hope you liked the video. Please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon. Our message is respect humanity and respect all religions. God bless.